I have nothing more to share about teacher content. Would you ever homeschool? There's just things that are shifting in the education field that I'm not a fan of, like lack of consequences. That was a very heavy thought. Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Emma and I would love for you to subscribe and stick around for all my future videos. And if you're not new here, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. This week we're just doing a really chill, chatty video because I feel like I've just been in back to school mode. Every video has been either classroom setup or classroom prep or first day of school or first week of school. Like, it's just been crazy. Ma'am, what are you doing? Anyways, I am filming this at night actually. Can you hear the locusts outside? They're so loud. I never film at night, but I just put Jordan down to bed. It's like a little bit after 7. Michael actually had to work partial night shifts, so he's gone till about midnight. So I have the whole evening to myself, and I just wanted to kind of sit down, catch up with you, do a little Q&A. I have my fall candle going. I am not a big candle person because I usually get headaches, and I feel like they're not great for you. But when fall comes around, I can't resist. Anyways, I haven't even started this video and I'm already rambling. So basically, it is a very cozy night. I wish I could put on like sweats or something with you and have like a cup of tea, but truthfully it's like 95 degrees and I just couldn't bring myself to do that. So I'm just gonna answer some questions from Instagram and also just questions I've either gotten in my DMs. YouTube comments are things that I feel like I just haven't gotten to answer lately. So we're gonna start with the question box on my Instagram story, and I'm just gonna scroll all the way to the bottom. How does your husband like his new job? Okay, let me catch you up to speed in 10 seconds. Michael is my husband. He was a nurse at a hospital his whole career, and a month or two ago, he was not really searching for it. Basically, it was definitely a promotion. It was out of the hospital. It was in a totally different setting. It was a manager position. It was a God thing. Yeah, we were so blessed by it and so excited about it for just our family, and the hours are more normal. Anyway, that was not 10 seconds or less. I think it has been such a big blessing for us. It's definitely not like perfect because there is no perfect job. It's the healthcare field, you know, and the healthcare field is just struggling. I feel like it's kind of like teachers. Like, you can be at an amazing school, you can have everything right, and just it's still a broken system. Healthcare is very similar. And so he still has struggles, he still has things that are definitely frustrating and not perfect, but I think it is still so much better than where he was, and I think he would say the same. I still am so just blessed by the fact that he's home every night with us. He leaves for work in the morning when I do, and he gets home around when I do, and it is just a game changer, and we are so grateful for it. So thank you so much for asking about it. I've actually gotten a lot of questions lately about it, and I just realized I never gave an update. Tips for saving money in different seasons of life. So getting married, honeymoon, buying a house. I feel like my perception of money, my budgeting skills and habits, my spending habits, everything I feel like has shifted and changed in every season of my life. So like something that I did that worked really well for me financially a year ago is totally different than what I do now. But I will say, I feel like we live in a very consumerism, materialistic society that makes you feel like you always have to be spending money. I feel like you just have to make sacrifices and be okay with that. Even just like the fact that it's trendy to go to Target and shop and find things that you don't need, or like how much money do you waste just because you're bored walking through Target? This is at me too. You have to make sacrifices, whether that's like I'm not going to buy myself clothes for a while, or I really could use a new couch. Could I afford to buy a new couch? Yes. Do I absolutely need a new couch right now? No, I would rather put that money and keep that money in my savings for something more important, or for whatever it is you're saving for. Like, it's not aesthetic, it's not beautiful, it's not Instagram worthy, but it's a couch. Like, it's not that deep. And it's okay to use hand-me-downs. It's okay to use the same clothes, the same furniture several years and seasons in a row. Whatever that means to you to make sacrifices, that's just what you're gonna have to do. Yeah, I feel like also throughout different seasons. There's going to be an abundant season where you feel like you have a little bit of extra money, you can kind of treat yourself, but then there's going to be times in your life that you really have to buckle down, and that's just life. It ebbs and flows. It's all about balance, but it's also all about knowing what season you're in and what you need to be doing with your money. Best advice for a first-year teacher. Go watch my first year in vlogs, because I shared so much of my teaching journey. I have nothing more to share about teacher content, because not that I've plateaued in my career, but I feel like I've plateaued in my teacher content because I've already shared everything that I know at the moment. Like, everything I know, I have given to you. You know, whether it's through Instagram posts or specific sit-down videos or just vlogging so many of my school days in detail and telling you what I'm doing and sharing my tips there, that I don't know what else to give. Ooh, who is your favorite person to watch on YouTube? Mine changes all the time. Right now, I love watching Michelle read. I've said that 1,000 times. Those are just the coziest videos. I love her vibe. I also love Milena Ciciotti. She is very similar vibes, but she's more motherhood focused, which is obviously relatable to me. I feel like I need some more YouTubers to watch that are more that cozy Christian vibe, you know? I don't really know what that means, but if you have any good recommendations, let me know. Oh, okay, so I just saw a question box that said just started a YouTube channel, advice to get more views / followers / be successful. And then I also got a long DM that I screenshotted so I wouldn't forget to talk about it. And she asked how difficult it is to grow your account, make a commission, filming and editing content, all that kind of stuff. One, if you want to do it, then do it. It's not that serious, it's just fun. But if you're only doing it because you want to make a buck, then you're probably not going to get anywhere. Now, in terms of actual specific how do you do it, I have more tips I feel like for YouTube than I do Instagram, because I'm not a very good Instagrammer, and to be honest with you, I feel like I prefer YouTube to Instagram. It's easier to talk to people on Instagram, so that's why I like it there. But in terms of actually like posting and creating content, I so much prefer YouTube videos to like taking a picture and trying to make a like whole feed. I'm over it. I will give you my 1-minute rundown for YouTube videos. You need to think of a title that is searchable. All of my titles of my videos are things that I would personally search up, or I know that other people are searching on YouTube, so that way when they type in a very generic day in the life of a teacher, my video could pop up. You also need to make a thumbnail that looks intriguing. Probably, I think more important than anything is the first like 10 seconds of your video. Let me know if this is y'all too, but my attention span is this short. Like, it doesn't exist. So if I click on a video and I am not immediately intrigued, I'm done. Like, I'm not gonna watch a 30-minute video if I'm already bored and it's the first 30 seconds. I don't think I'm necessarily great at doing this in my videos. That's not really like my strong suit. I really try to do now like a preview of what's coming up in the vlog to try to pique interest. In terms of editing, I just use iMovie. You can use your iPhone. Right now I'm filming with a Canon EOS M50. Love it. It's just practice. It's just finding your style. I feel like this summer I finally found what I want to create. I found my style of editing, and I have been doing this for 2 years. I got a question about how the start of my year has been, how is my class this year, and how are things going with school. So far so good. They've been doing a really good job of adjusting to a new year. I feel like they adjusted really quickly. They know our routines really well now. There's definitely hiccups along the way. There's definitely things that I have to remind myself it's literally the beginning of the school year and they are not anywhere near where they're going to be at the end of the year, and I have to give them a lot of grace. I have to find a lot of patience still. Like, I'm not a perfect teacher, but they have truthfully done an amazing job, and I have a really sweet class. I was super nervous at the beginning of this year, as I am every year. You never know the kids and the mix and how they're going to be together and like how they're going to be with you, and I really like this class. Would you ever homeschool? My entire life up until a week ago, I would say absolutely not. For some reason in the last, like literally the last several days, so it's funny this is a question, I've just been having this random thought in my head of like, what if I homeschooled my kids? That has never been a thought in my mind before, and I'm not saying I'm gonna do it because I still feel like I lean more towards not homeschooling, but It's definitely a thought right now. I think just because of the way that our schools are shifting towards, like the behaviors, the way that things are being handled, the discipline, the lack of consequences. I watched Jacqueline Hall's video recently. I can link it down below, but she uploaded a video about why she left the teaching field. And I was glued to that video. I didn't realize that that was more places than just my own experience. And I work at a phenomenal school. Like, I truly love my school. I really do. But there's just things that are shifting in the education field that I'm not a fan of, like lack of consequences. And it's just a lot, and I see a lot of kids suffering from that. I see the kids who desperately need consequences for their actions suffering, but I also see the kids that don't have those extreme behaviors that are really just me as a kid. Like, they just want to please their teacher, they just want to learn, they love to be at school, that are also really suffering from those situations. And I worry about those kids, which makes me worry about my future kids, which obviously my future kid may not be that like perfect angel child, but like, do you know what I mean? I feel bad for both kids in that scenario. I don't know. It makes me think about homeschooling. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely still see a lot of value in schools. Obviously, I am a stinking teacher. Of course I do. If I ever did, it would be for just like the first couple of years, because I just don't feel qualified to teach upper grades. We'll just see. In this moment, I'm not planning on it, but I also feel like I can't completely count it out of the picture just yet. So many questions about balancing being a teacher and a mom. I am kind of struggling with this because even though I really do try to leave work at work, but sometimes I think it's just been really hard because back to school season is so crazy and it takes up so much of your time and your effort and your thoughts and everything that it's been hard to balance. I am really trying to make my boundaries even firmer than they are for my own sake and for Jordan's sake, and for my husband's sake. I can feel the boundaries crumbling a little bit, and I can just feel it affecting my mental health. So you mentioned taking a break from teaching. Are you still considering it? I am still considering it. I think I say this every time that I get asked this question. I'm just taking it year by year. So like, it's still August or September. So I don't know. I'll let you know in May what I decide, but I'm trying really hard to just be in the moment and really enjoy every day that I have at school with these kids. I'm trying to enjoy this year, and when I finish the year, we'll see how I feel. I don't know what I'm gonna do. When did you get married? So we got married in December of 2019. 18. This December will be our 4-year anniversary. I was 21 and he was 22. Okay, I just saw like 5 different questions about my maternity leave and how I planned for that and the sub binder I used. Basically, I had one big binder where I had everything in for her. So I had my class list, my schedule, my interventions, and like who saw what when. I had all of my passwords, all of my emergency procedures, all of like the details about how I ran my stations and what they did at each station. And then I also had lesson plans for the entire time that I was gone. I don't know if that's a requirement at every school, and I don't even know if it's a requirement at my school. I just felt better making plans. So just lots of organization, lots of planning and preparedness, making sure everything has a place and that your sub knows where that place is super important. And then also every time that I had to be gone for like an appointment or something, I had her be my sub if she could, just to kind of get a feel for our day and get a feel for my kids and what their needs were. I think that was also really helpful, and that was really helpful for my kids because they knew her. And so when I sat down and talked to my kids and kind of prepped them, they, I think, felt better knowing exactly who it was, and they liked her and they were familiar with her. So just planning, preparedness. What's the scariest thing you've ever done? Have a C-section. Okay, I'm gonna end with this one. What is God teaching you right now? I love that question. So I am in a very weird season of my life, and by weird I mean hard, but something that the Lord is really showing me right now is what it looks like to have a peace and a hope that surpasses all understanding. even when your circumstances look dark or you feel like things really are hopeless. The Lord is just so faithful in the way that He orchestrates things and in the little things He does to remind you that He is with you and that He loves you. Because realistically, life is just mountains and valleys. It's just back and forth. If you're on a mountain, that's great, but you're probably about to go through a valley. And that's a painful thing about life, but it's also reassuring because it's like, if you're in a valley, you know that someday soon you will be back on the mountaintop. But anyways, I feel like I'm definitely in a valley season right now, and just for circumstances that I don't really want or care to share on the internet. But I only say that to share what God is teaching me, not to like be dramatic. And anyways, but I feel like He is showing me little ways that He listens. In the past, when I've been in these valley seasons, it's really easy for me to put up kind of blinders and put up these walls where all I see is my pain, all I see is my circumstances and the things that are making me feel hopeless. And what I'm learning in this specific valley season is that if I look up and I look around, there are so many things that He has placed in front of me for me in that moment to get me through. That doesn't take away that thing that's right in front of me that's so painful, but it's not quite as big when I can look up and look around, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's my little encouragement, I guess, is if you're in one of those valley seasons, because you probably are, and if you're not, you probably will be soon. Not to be a Debbie Downer, but it's just life. Actively search for something to give you a little bit of hope, give you a little bit of joy, and just show you that He is literally with you all the time. And He is just constantly working in your favor and working for you. There's just so much evidence of His love everywhere, all the time. That was a very heavy thought to end this video on, but that's just kind of the season that I'm in right now. Just lots of thoughts. So that's why I wanted to have just a nice, cozy catch-up chat with you tonight. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. Make sure you subscribe and stick around for all my future videos. And thank you just so much from the bottom of my heart for being here, for watching my videos, and I will see you guys next week. Bye, friends.